Hello everyone, bit of a different video today, different studio, but same sort of stuff. Now, we've released a lot of discoveries on this channel. Here's another one. The king's sarcophagus is a fraud. That's right, it's fake. Totally fake. The reason is simple. It does not fit into the tomb at all. There was something else in there, we don't know what, possibly a giant's sarcophagus as we see elsewhere in Egypt. The king's sarcophagus is a huge, enormous red herring. It could be from the 4th dynasty, it could be earlier. It doesn't fit there. It was put there by later people who thought that the body was buried in the pyramid. They were wrong. Let's check this out. Well, hi everyone, and I just want to say thank you so much for watching my channel. It's absolutely brilliant. We've had a few fun interviews, more coming up. Today is different. Today is just pure research and looking at things, speculation. Well, it's more than speculation, because that sarcophagus in the king's chamber is kind of a fraud, and I'm going to absolutely prove this out of the ballpark in this video. That's right, prove it out of the ballpark. Now, what are we looking at here? This seems to be a 4th dynasty sarcophagus. That is what a 4th dynasty sarcophagus looks like. We know it's a 4th dynasty sarcophagus made from red granite. This one also seems to be made from an almost red, yellow, grey kind of granite. But this one doesn't have any writing on it. That one does. What's going on? They're both the same dynasty. There's something weird happening here. Something weird going on. Now this is done in the 3rd dynasty style. That guy there, that's unrelated. That looks like Djoser of the 3rd dynasty. Now, guess what? A sarcophagus was found in the smaller Menkaure pyramid. This over here is the smallest pyramid. It is the Menkaure pyramid. Here you've got red granite on the outside with all those little nubs, possibly used for lifting if they were carved. And over here we have this, and guess what? We don't have that anymore. That was found in the Menkaure pyramid. It's gone. It was put on a ship to England. That ship sank. But before they sent it off, they said, oh, it's Said era. That is, it's the 500s, 600s, 700s BC. It was that final Egyptian dynasty. The same dynasty where in Sais, where Herodotus travelled, he actually said, he actually met a priest who told him all about the story of Atlantis. So it was the last of the Egyptians before the Persians came in with their horse archers and all their armies and their spear archers and all those and just conquered everyone because they made the sky thick with arrows. So if we look at something like this, we don't know what dynasty it is. It could be 3rd dynasty, it could be 4th dynasty, it could be Said dynasty. So it could be almost 3000 BC or it could be 500 BC. We don't know because the Said people went all over Egypt and copied everything and tampered with all the evidence. They just tampered with all the evidence in Giza. It's just abominable what they did. So we actually don't know if this was a 4th dynasty or not. But if we look at this, and that's a 4th dynasty, we would have to say, well, that could have been a 4th dynasty sarcophagus. So what the heck was that? Now we know this was not a tomb. So why is there a tomb here? Well, later Egyptians came along and they plonked this thing here. They plonked it here. I'm telling you, this is fake, this is a red herring, this is confused archaeologists, this is not even supposed to be in this room. I'm going to prove it's not supposed to be in this room. Now, people say, oh, it does belong in the room because it couldn't fit through the door, so therefore it was built, placed in the room, the pyramid was built around it. Now, have you ever heard anything so crazy as that? You build a pyramid around a box? Just around a box? They haven't left any room for error. Oh no, the box has to be a certain size, etc., etc. It has to be bigger than the door. Don't allow any room for error whatsoever. Just plonk it right there and build the pyramid around it. I'm sure the workers aren't going to interfere with that box or damage it while they're building the pyramid. I mean, are you serious? I mean, are you kidding me, archaeologists? Are you kidding me? This doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. The Egyptians weren't this dumb. They left plenty of room for error. They were the pre-Egyptians. They were clever as anything. So how the heck did they fit this in to the tomb if that door is too small? Well, there's only one way they could have done it. That box is fake. It's geopolymer. It's fake stone.
That box doesn't even belong in the room. It's not scented. Why don't they lift it up and carbon date the dust? That's going to prove it. I mean, does the box in any way fit into the room? It doesn't. Now, they've tried to make it a similar coloured rock, as we shall see. This is Piazzi Smyth's measurements of the box, which he did at the beginning of the 20th century, the broken southeast corner of the coffer in the blah, blah, blah. So obviously this is some kind of sarcophagus, but it doesn't fit the pyramid. Why build a simple little thing for the pyramid? Unless you are hijacking the pyramid to bury yourself there. See, that makes sense to me. That totally makes sense to me. The original builders would have done something a lot more grand than this, and it certainly was not a tomb. It was a lot more than that. Way more than that. I mean, this doesn't make any sense at all. So, this must be geopolymer. They brought the equipment in, they brought their alchemists in, and they forged this rock. And you probably don't believe me, but I'm telling you, they forged this rock in here in the tomb. I think that makes absolute sense because we know they did things like this. I mean, you don't believe me, but we're going to prove this. I mean, the pyramidologists really went into this. And did you know one of Piazzi Smyth's disciples, he went in here, and do you know the story? I don't know if this story is true or not, but he found out that this did not fit the other pyramid yard measurements, which were found around the pyramid. So he actually got a hammer out and he actually started shrinking the size of it so that it would fit. Now, we have to ask, this is a clue. Why didn't it fit the pyramid yard? Well, the answer would be, I guess, or the pyramid inch. The answer would be that this isn't even damn well supposed to be in here. It wasn't built by the original pyramid builders. I mean, doesn't that make sense? And you even look at the nubs, and look, I'm just taking these images off Google Images. I hope that's okay. I hope no one says, "Hey, that's mine." Hey, and if so, I'll credit you. No problemo about that. But these are nubs. Look, these are nubs obviously for lifting this up or hanging it on something. This is like an Ark of the Covenant, but forged in stone. This is 4th dynasty from a museum, possibly in France or Britain or Egypt. I mean, they're the countries that have all the Egyptian antiquities. These are nubs for lifting up this lid. So, look, these are nubs actually being used, proven that they would be being used for lifting. So I'm showing you nubs that were used for lifting. So whatever you think of nubs, some were used for lifting. Some, I think, were for hanging sheets of gold on the metal, as I pointed out in a previous video, mysterious cities of gold. And some, obviously, for astronomical alignments, as shown in Cuzco. An Inca man is pointing these out. And that's what it was for. I mean, that's what it's all for. Again, this is from a 4th dynasty sarcophagus from Abu Roash. It is different from the one in the pyramid. I mean, now I think that could be a giant sarcophagus. The Bible talks about giants. The giants are in historical record. Giants did exist. There were giant skeletons found. If they were bigger than us, they had bigger brains than us. They could have built things like this. I think they were curled up in the fetal position inside this. Later Egyptians might have put bulls in here in the Stone Ages. Sure, why not? They would have hijacked them, put bulls in here. Do I see Stone Age people carving with this precision? Absolutely not. This was done in a highly technological era. And again, people have taken measurements, detailed measurements of the king's chamber, and they found to have incredible mathematical accuracies. Just unbelievable mathematical accuracies. And if you look closely here, you will see you will see something really interesting here. Do you see this snake-like pattern where the patina has been chipped off? Either they've tried to clean off the graffiti or clean it up, or the outer patina of the forged cement, whatever it is chipping off the king's sarcophagus. And you can only see it in this because I guess it's a bit blurry, isn't it? But you can see quite clearly here that there is a huge inconsistency. This is not carved out of a single piece of granite. This seems to, or it was carved when it was soft. And this man takes the credit for the theory. Davidovitz, just a brilliant man. Here he's just created that. He's created that. He's created that. He said that's a wet mix. That's a dry mix, and that's what we see in the pyramids. I mean, this is just the way things are. I mean, do we really think the pyramid was built around this, and it was just for a tomb for a short man? That doesn't make any sense to me. Yeah, this is from one of my previous videos, Tomb of a Giant. This is buried behind the Sphinx. So I'm saying in a previous video, this is what a dog does. When a dog is guarding you, it backs up against you and it's guarding you because it loves you. So this is found directly behind the Sphinx. So this was the Sphinx was originally a dog, a Nubis, and it's guarding the giant that was buried in this. I mean, that's just this would fit what's in the Bible. And some YouTubers say this thing here was blasted with one of these huge statues near Aswan was of Ramses was blasted with laser cannons, or it melted from the Great Catastrophe. No, it's just a deteriorating concrete. I think that's all it is. I mean, look, if you seriously think this was blasted, and I'm not saying you're wrong, obviously. If you think this was blasted with laser cannons, why would a Stone Age structure be being blasted by laser cannons? That period, the period of high technology was 60, 70, 80, 100,000 years ago. These are not that old. These are Ramses. Not nearly that old. And these are geopolymer, and that one was rebuilt because in later times very badly, because it's essentially crumbled into nothing, because that's exactly what cement does. I mean, if it was stone, why isn't it there anymore? This wasn't blasted apart by inaccurate primitive artillery. This just corroded because it's concrete. That's what I think. There's some more nubs. Shout out to whoever this is. Again, nubs for lifting. Nubs are used for lifting. Why not? Nubs. And listen, guys, I'm not saying I'm 100% about this. This is a hypothesis. This is theory. This is speculation. And look, we even see there is a similarity between this and the wall. So this has led people to say, oh, look, it's the same kind of granite, the same kind of stuff. Well, no, it's not the same kind of stuff. All you had to do was take an alchemical formula and create granite, as they can do today. They can make artificial stone out of almost any substance, and they could have created this in the same finish. Of course, they did lots of experimentation before they built this here. I mean, why else would this fit? Why else would this be in here? It doesn't make any sense whatsoever, because we know it's not a tomb. And in this particular photo, we actually see, it's a different color to the rest of this. Not sure about over here, but it's certainly different to the wall. It's from a different mix, a different quarry. It looks different to me. Here, that is less clear. Okay, I'll grant you that is less clear, but it is still different. The splotches are larger than on the wall. It's a different finish. It was just made to look similar. And of course, that's the Menkaure pyramid, and they found this box, which wasn't even supposed to be in there, because the box they said was 500 BC, and the pyramid is clearly not 500 BC. So they put boxes in there. I mean, hey, this is amazing. Guys, I hope you enjoyed that, and catch you soon. Bye-bye. Stay tuned for the next segment.
Well, as I say at the end of that segment, I can't believe it. Time for the next segment, which is, what do you know? Now, do you know that archaeologists have just found that, well, they have uncovered 140 sacrificed children. Their faces were painted with red cinnabar. This was in Peru. They have said that these kids were probably sacrificed 550 years ago, but I'm not sure about this date. Seems a little late to me. They're saying they started discovering these bodies in 2011 in a temple which was 3,500 years old, so we could be talking 1500 BC, which was, of course, the height of the trade with the Lake between the old world, the copper trade, and the Lake Superior time, so that would fit better to me. They think they're 550 years old. Okay, they're 550 years old. It was the Khmu Empire in Peru, and all these kids were sacrificed all together in a layer of mud, and they think this was because it was raining too much. So it must have been an El Nino sort of event. It was raining too much. They wanted it to dry out a little bit because they're all buried in this mud layer, right? Now, I don't think so. I think that they're putting contemporary concerns onto ancient peoples. No. I think what's really I'm going to tell you what's really happening. I think what's really happening is this. These guys could have been Carthaginians in much earlier times, or influenced by Carthaginians, by Phoenician traders who were trading up to the Pacific. We've just seen the Nubs. The Nubs are in ancient Egypt. Why wouldn't they were building it the same way. There was clear transatlantic contact. Now, why would the Carthaginians, for instance, have sacrificed 140 children? Well, the answer is quite clear. They did this often before a great battle because they wanted to appease the gods. So they thought, okay, we've given you the children, now he's going to give us a victory. They would do it before a big battle. So I think that's why the children were sacrificed before a big battle in Peru. And this is why it happened. Because we already know there's transatlantic contact. We know Peru, it was a transatlantic destination. It must have been. I think that's what's really going on here, and I think they're putting weather events on this. Doesn't make any sense to me, guys. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed that. That was What Do You Know, and catch you next time. Bye bye.